Kristen, WTF Kristen. Wanted to share with you a study, well, at least a little summary about this study that I saw about mass shooters and the difference between civilians and law enforcement. Couple of things to unpack there. First of all, actually, I want to let you know, if you go to my website, WTFKristen.com, you'll see a short summary about it and then a link to the actual study. Very long study, but very interesting. Send it into AI if you want to, get a better summary, longer summary anyways. But I want to talk about a couple of the points of it. One is talking about who is better. So I'm not saying necessarily that civilians are better shooters than law enforcement. I will say that there are many law enforcement officers that actually take the time to improve their skills to be more proficient. There are also many everyday carry people who have firearms who equally spend as much time, and I would venture to guess that there's probably more, considering the fact that I'm in competition shooting and there's a lot of freaking people in there. And then of course we have a lot of people carry. So I would say those that practice more, those are going to be better. Next thing, when you're at an event, the mall, movie theater, whatever, you're already there. So who's going to be the first responder on scene? Well, the person that's already there. That's you. So how long does it take the law enforcement to get there? Not saying that they're not capable to get there and that they're super slow in getting there, but think about it this way. If an incident were to happen, are you going to go, stop everybody, let me call the police? And you're actually not calling a direct line to a police officer who may be on patrol. You're calling 911 dispatch. And maybe they're overwhelmed at the time. Maybe there's only one person working, depending on the time of day, but depending on what city you're in, etc. So now you're going to have to get through the dispatch, explain what's going on. That person's going to have to dispatch to somebody in that area, and that person is going to come to the scene, or several persons. But who's already there? You have several people, hopefully, who carry, and hopefully they practice, that are there to actively deal with the situation. So then, who are those prepared people? Let me go back, sorry. So then law enforcement get there. Your first situation is going to be something hits the fan. You're going to run, hopefully, finding a safe place. Then maybe somebody else will be calling the police. Maybe you have somebody that'll actually, might be you, maybe respond to her to help protect yourselves. Then the law enforcement shows up. Now, how much time are we talking here? It could be 5 minutes, but you think about it. If something's happening within a few minutes, they're coming and shit's already hit the fan. People are already dead. So when you're dealing with everyday carry people, civilians that have firearms, they're the first responders. And you, and for your family, you're the first responder. Whether you're law enforcement or not, you, my friend, are your first responder. So, and now are you prepared? And how often do you practice? Because your body can't go where your brain hasn't been. So if you haven't practiced in a year or more, think about that. If you're going to run a marathon and you haven't run in a year, and you are going to run a marathon today, how well do you think you're going to do? Well, you might pass out. You might have really sore muscles. And I would say unless it's extreme heat, you're not going to die. But if you're at a situation or you're at the mall or you're at a XYZ place and shit hits the fan and you don't have a firearm because you decided, I'm only going here, I don't need one, now you could lose your life. Especially if you haven't been able to practice. When was the last time you went to the range to practice? Now, looking at my friend back here, that friend is about 7 yards from me. Can you draw and shoot that within a matter of seconds? Because that's what you're going to need to do. And it's not a matter of shooting them in the arm or shooting them in the leg. You actually have to shoot them in a spot that's going to stop them on the tracks. And that's going to be your heart. So you have to stop their heart from beating to send all the other things out the window. And if you don't hit it at the exact right spot at the exact right time and several shots, they're going to keep coming at you or they're going to keep firing back. So you need to be able to practice. You need to be able to hit that shot with certainty. You need to be able to get to your firearm quick. So how do you do that? By practicing. So people, you are your first responder. The first person on the scene is probably the person who's already there. Don't worry about other people. Protect your family. Protect yourself. Practice. Practice, practice, practice. So to round that all up, when you're looking at a mass shooter education or mass shooter instance, or you're looking at the civilians or the law enforcement is already there, law enforcement that's going to be there and the civilian that's already there, who's going to get there faster? Who's going to be your first responder? It's going to be the civilian, and hopefully it's going to be you. Check out the study in my website, WTFKristen.com. Let me know if you have any questions. Drop your comments. Have a great day. Like, follow, subscribe, all the things. Have a good day.